Hello, everybody, and welcome to How Would I Judge RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World. This was one of these seasons that was suggested for me to do in the comments in one of my videos, and considering that by the time this video is going to come out, the cast reveal for Canada versus the World will be out for a couple days. I thought this was a very appropriate season to go over. As always, these are just my opinions. My opinions ultimately do not matter. If you want to talk to me in the comments, if you want to, say, I think this person should win this challenge, go for it. But if you're going to tell me I'm an idiot for thinking the way that I do, then, go fuck yourself. Let us get right on into it. The rules to remember are the season has to be as long as season 1 of the Versus the World series originally was, which was 6 episodes. And the performances and the challenges need to be based off of how well someone did or how people would predict they would do. So just because somebody was in the top doesn't mean I'm going to put them in the bottom and vice versa, unless there is strong major opinion from the fan base that somebody who was in the top should have been in the bottom, or, vice versa. The goal of this video is to act as if I'm the head judge and craft the season however I can imagine to make it as fun and eventful as possible, and to be fair with my judging of the season by combining my own personal tastes and what was shown to us on the show. So let us get right into episode 1. Before we really get into this, I gotta say this cast might be my favorite cast of queens ever on a season of Drag Race. I'm just gonna talk about Jimbo and Mohart are 2 of my top 5 favorite drag queens, like, of all time, basically. So the fact that they were both on the exact same Drag Race season is just so amazing to me. It's just chef's kiss. I love it. I love it. And Jujubee's here, fucking Blue Hydrangea, Pangina Heels, Lemon. I'm just gonna keep listing everybody. Cheryl Hole, Janie Jacquet, Bag of Chips. They're all fucking icons. They're all amazing. This is an amazing fucking season. So let us get into episode 1. Now, originally, Bag of Chips did place high for this episode, along with Blue Hydrangea, but a lot of people think that she should have just been safe, maybe even low. I think she should have been bottom 2. I rewatched this episode for this video, the Talent Show Challenge, which is what, happened this episode. And I think Baggas and Janie's were the 2 worst, I gotta say. Now, a lot of people disagreed originally Lemon was in the bottom 2, and I disagree with that as well. I do think Lemon could have been low. I considered it for a minute. I think Janie Jacquet had to have been in the bottom 2, but I think realistically any of a Lemon, Jujubee, and Bag of Chips could have swapped those, safe low and bottom 2 placements that, compromises kind of those spaces that they could have fulfilled. I think Pangina and Jimbo were definitely the tops. Blue was definitely a 3rd, then Cheryl, then Mo. So those, what is it, 6th, 7th, and 8th place really could have switched between all of them, but this is the way I decided to do it. So Pangina Heels and Jimbo are going to be the winners of the challenge. Now, in All-Star seasons where they do 2 winners, I don't think it's ever been actually confirmed, but I saw this on the UK versus the World Drag Race Wiki page. And that is that RuPaul's Drag Race, the YouTube channel, or it might have been World of Wonder, but I think it was RuPaul's Drag Race YouTube channel, posted their best Snatch Game winners video, and Katya's performance in All Stars 2 was in it. So it is, at least according to someone there, they consider that if you're in the top 2 in an All-Star season with this format, then you have won the challenge. You might not have won the lip sync, but you did win the challenge. So that is why they're both listed as winners, Pangina and Jimbo here. So Pangina is going to be a winner of the challenge and is going to win at the lip sync as she did originally. And we're going to be using that kind of purpley magenta color to designate that. Jimbo is also going to be a winner, but is going to lose the lip sync in the top 2 to who was it to? It was Say He'll Be There by the Spice Girls. Blue is going to be high. Cheryl, Lemon, and Mo are going to be safe. Jujubee will be low, and then Janie Jacquet and Bag of Chips at the bottom 2. Now, the way that I did this is, since this is the first season that I have judged that has had this format where the queens eliminate each other, from like a top two winning the lip sync to get to choose who gets eliminated, I decided that for this series and follow this format, I'm going to do, based off of what Wishon was on the show, who I think they would have eliminated. Um, and it seemed like in the first episode we really got, Pangina and Janie being the only representatives from, from their countries, that they weren't really going to be going after each other. And so I think that most likely Pangina would have gotten rid of Baga here, um, which is kind of shocking that Baga goes first in this scenario. But based off of my judging, that's what I think would happen. Now, I want to say real quick, the two seasons that Bag has been in, I've kind of done her dirty with her placements a little bit. I did not done her dirty. That's wrong, because that's genuinely where I think she would have placed, at least for me. But like, I just want to reiterate that like Bag of Chips is a great drag queen, and I like Bag of Chips. I don't dislike her, even though I put her in the bottom many times. I just think that she got decent amounts of favoritism on both of the seasons that she was on, and I think even if she doesn't go home this episode, she's in the bottom for most of the other episodes going forward. So, yeah, Bag of Chips is going to go home here, but she's amazing. I mean, her, even though I did not give her the Snatch Game win in my reviewing of season 1 of Drag Race UK, her Snatch Game is one of the best of all time, absolutely. And she's just impeccably funny. She's so good. So, yeah, we're gonna move on to episode 2. Alrighty, episode 2 is the RuPaul Ball Challenge. Now, this is a hard challenge to judge because literally the top 6, up until Lemon, every single look is of stellar. Like, all the looks are great. Now, we obviously don't know how Lemon would have done in the actual look that she made, but she did post both of her looks onto Instagram that, for the other categories. What was it? It was the, like, Butch Queen and Kitty Girl, I believe, were the categories. Or, some variation of that. And her looks were pretty good for those categories, but I think in general they were probably the 6th best out of these 8. And I don't think she would have done particularly well in the sewing portion of the challenge. I mean, in her design challenge on Canada season 1, she was in the bottom 2 in that first one. And then in the second one that she was in, she placed like safe. But people think some people think that her team and others should have been in the bottom. So that's why I decided to put her low here. But starting from the top, we have Mo Hart and Jimbo being the winners of the challenge. Mo was originally high for this challenge, and Janie originally was one of the winners. I just am not a big fan of her Butch Queen look. I'm really not. Like, it's kind of like a fashiony prison jumpsuit, and though I like it, it just wasn't like, it just didn't they give it to me. And I think there's a critique where for her like kitty girl look, where Michelle says, if you weren't wearing the cat ears, I wouldn't really get much kitty from this. So I think she was mainly put in the top because of her look that she made, which was like quintessential RuPaul, and that's kind of what it was supposed to be. But I think in those other categories, she was, probably 5th for me, like on both of them, or around there. So I think she should have been safe, even though she probably did the best in the other category. But I guess it is the most important category, but still, I would put her as a safe placement. Safe above Blue Hydrangea, actually. So she was actually 4th in the challenge for me, but regardless. Yeah, Mohart, Jimbo, top 2, both did great in the challenge, both originally in the top in some form or fashion. And Pangina is going to be placing high, as she did originally. Blue Hydrangea is safe as she was originally. Our bottom 2 are exactly the same. We have Jujubee and Cheryl Hole in the bottom 2. The top 2 of Mohart and Jimbo are going to lip sync to Supermodel, some mix of it, by RuPaul. RuPaul song. Um, and considering that Mohart was the winner and Jujubee was in the bottom, I don't think Mo gets rid of Jujubee here because that is her American sister. And I just don't think it makes sense for her to do that. I mean, I don't remember seeing really much of anything between Mo Hart and Cheryl Hole, so I do think Cheryl still goes home here. So, sad times to Cheryl. Never gonna get a badge. I mean, eventually she might get a badge, but not this season. But she's stunning, and people need to stop calling her mediocre. Like I know that's like the joke, but like if you keep calling something mediocre, then you're just gonna, even if you don't think it, then you're gonna think of it as mediocre, and that's not good for her because she's a fucking amazingly talented drag queen. But regardless of that conversation, Cheryl Hole is awesome. Move on to episode 3. Now here we have the rusical of the season. Big question for us is, how does Lemon do in this challenge? And the question is, I don't know. I think Janie's and Pangina's performances in this challenge were so good. I really don't think they could have been topped. I really don't. We see Lemon, well, there wasn't Rusical in season 1 of Canada's Drag Race, but we do have like the Sorry About It challenge, which is kind of the closest thing we get to that. And she does very well in that. I believe she places high for it. So I do think there's a chance that she does pretty damn good at this challenge. I think the only spots that she could get are high or safe. That's just what I see in my brain. And I decided to give her the safe placement here, just because Blue really did exceptionally good in this challenge. And I mean, the role that is not fulfilled here because you don't have a bag of chips is the role of the Tracy Turnblad like parody. So if Lemon gets that parody, I think she would probably be safe with that. And I mean, I do think there are characters that she could fucking win with if she got them. I do think there are ones that she would like be in the bottom with if she got them. So I just put her as safe because that seemed like the best placement for her. Basically, every single other placement in this episode is as it was originally. I believe Baga placed safe originally in this episode, and we kind of just have slotted Lemon into that spot. Pangina and Janie Jacquet are going to be the winners of the challenge. Janie Jacquet, I still think about that song sometimes because she just she just embodies Meryl Streep so well, and it's just amazing, and I love it. Blue Hydrangea is going to be high. Mohart is going to be low, and the bottom 2 are going to be Jujubee and Jimbo. We do have the top 2 being Pangina Hills and J&JK lip syncing to Be Like to Party by the Venga Boys, which is, I fucking love this song. It's so fucking good. Which, when it was used as a song in an improv class I took as like an interpretive, like, is was like, you're supposed to make movements and act as a character related to the dance. When I suggested this song, nobody had heard it in the room, which shook me to my fucking core. Made me realize how gay I was. I wasn't even born in the 90s. It's not even a 90s thing. I think it's a gay thing. Even though the person that was teaching the class was a queer individual in their late 20s who should absolutely know the song, but this is a topic for another day. Yeah, Pangina slays this. She goes so fucking hard on this. She's gonna, get the power to eliminate somebody. Since really not much has changed. Really the only thing that's really changed is Lemon has taken the place of Bag of Chips. Really, basically has the exact same track record as her so far. That makes me think that the decision by her does not change. She's still going to eliminate the front runner in Jimbo, I think, in the situation, which is, I fucking love Jimbo so much. So, sad to see her go here, but I do think she still makes that decision. So let us move on to episode 4. Alrighty, episode 4 is the Snatch Game episode of the season. Snatch Game Family Edition, funnily enough. They should do this format again, actually. It didn't work out that bad. I mean, I do think it has to be done with like 6 people or, maybe 8 at most, but, they could try this again. This is the only time we've seen it so far, but, whatever. So, again, the question for this episode is, how does Lemon do? And the answer is, I don't know. I mean, I do think just based off of her track record of comedy challenges, I think she either is part of the top two or is safe. I do think she, without a doubt, does better than Pangina, Janie, and Mo, but I think she definitely, not definitely, but I would hedge my bets that she does worse than Blue. So it's the question of who else is going to compose that top spot? Is it Jujubee or is it Lemon? And I just, looking at Jujubee's like share, well, her share wasn't like, I think her share was worse than Lemon's Jojo Siwa that we saw on Canada's Drag Race Season 1. I just still think that Jujubee generally has a better track record with comedy challenges. I mean, that's not to say that Lemon is a bad track record with comedy challenges. She's basically, I think, been like safe at least on like every comedy challenge that she's done. Was she low for the commercials on Canada Season 1? Actually, I really don't remember. I do not remember where she placed in that challenge in the slightest. I could not tell you. But I mean, she did win like a comedy related challenge on Canada's Drag Race Season 1. She won the pageant, which, you know, was, yeah, but that was pretty much a comedy improv situation. But I think she would have been safe here. And I'm sorry to disappoint you with that information. That's just, I think based off of what we know, it's either that winner that's safe. They feel pretty even to me, but my gut says safe. I apologize if you hate that. But yeah, Blue Hydrangea, Jujubee are going to be in the top two. Mo is going to be safe for performance along with Lemon, and then the bottom two for sure are Janie Jacquet and Pangina Heels. Oh, and this is the way I think that final sixes in seasons like this should go. Like, it should be a 2-2-2 split in my brain. It should be like the two tops, the two safes, and the two bottoms. I don't prescribe to any of that, you know. If you're not in the top, you're in the bottom bullshit. I don't like any of it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's really just, it feels like an excuse to, like, shake shit up for no reason. And it's not really fun to watch as a viewer. But yeah. So, the top two of Blue Hydrangea and Jujubee are going to lip sync to Let It Go by Alexandra Burke. And I think that Blue Hydrangea would win this as she did originally. We saw in the original Drag Race UK vs. the World that Blue Hydrangea does win a lip sync against Jujubee in the finale, and I do think she does pretty solid in this lip sync, and I don't think Jujubee could have done well. I think Jujubee, like, at 100% definitely could have done better, but I don't think Jujubee would have done better. So Blue still gets the power to eliminate, and I do think she Jimbo's Pangina. Or yeah, I say that because of, it's the same, you know, it's literally an episode later, but you know, it's Manila. I think she Manila's Pangina, and just how Pangina Manila'd Jimbo. This is a weird ass tongue twister, but Pangina Hill's a fucking icon. I fucking love her. She is so good at what she does. She could read me the back of a fucking cereal box and I'd be like, get it, bitch. So, sadly, she's going to go here as she did originally, and we're going to move on to episode 5. Episode 5, they are living their lives in London. So, yeah, they're having to do create performances to the song Living My Life in London. And based off of the track record of Lemon, and her songwriting capabilities, it would be an absolute shock if she wasn't at the top for this challenge. She would probably do amazing. Where is her hometown? I really don't know. Is it? It's obviously some city in Canada, but I don't know. But regardless, I do think she would have been at the top of this challenge, along with Mo Hart, who absolutely murdered this originally. Now, originally Jujubee was in the top of this challenge, but a lot of people think that Blue and Jujubee should have been swapped, which, I mean, I think if you're looking at it originally, I'd say my ranking from the original 5 who did it would probably be Mo, Blue, Jujubee, Baga, and Janie. That would probably be my order. But since we have Lemon introduced into this, even though Jujubee originally won this challenge, it does push her into that bottom 2, sadly, along with Janie. And, you know, we're not prescribing to the, you know, if you're not in the top, you're in the bottom situation. The person who does the third best is just going to play safe here, you know, keeping that, you know, even distribution of 2 than 1 than 2. So yeah, this is what happens in this scenario. The lip sync song is Toy by Netta, which we need more Eurovision songs in Drag Race. We need them. I really hope at some point we get a like lip sync Lollapalooza or SmackDown situation where all of the songs are Eurovision songs. I don't care if they're in another language, bitch, learn it. Like Eurovision is so fun. And I would love to see some fucking iconic fucking songs on there. I want to see them do what's some fun songs that they could do that are like Eurovision. Um, I would like to see Molitva, which was like I think it went for Serbia in 2007, I think. I just really fucking love that song. I really, really like it. It's such a good song. I really They could do like Only Teardrops. They could do Fairy Tale, you know, some of these like classic popular ones. Think About Things, I think would be a super fun one, which I was it was in the qualifiers, right? Yeah. They could do that. There are so many situations that they could do. I need to get really more into like older Eurovision, but I just haven't done that. Yeah, I do think Lemon would win this this lip sync. I think I said Lemon, but in my brain I just went Lemon would win. I do think Lemon would win. The question is, who does she eliminate? The answer is I don't know, because at this point in this scenario, Jujubee and Janie have extremely similar track records. They each have a win. This is each of their third times in the bottom, and the other placement for Janie was a safe, and the other one for Jujubee was a low. So they're essentially exactly the same. So, you know, did she get rid of Janie because she is technically done better, or does she get rid of Jujubee because it, you know, kind of takes some power away from Team USA? I don't know. I decided to keep that she would get rid of Janie. Just because that's what my gut said she would do. There's really absolutely zero backing to this. It could be the way around, but regardless, whoever she saves, I think the finale stays essentially the same. Maybe a winner of a lip sync is changed, but I think the ultimate winner stays the same. So I do think she would probably get rid of Janie here. Move on to our final episode with Lemon, Mohart, Blue Hydrangea, and Jujubee. Essentially just Lemon taking the different placements of bag of chips throughout this season with like minor variation. And actually, before we get to the finale, I should probably talk about what I think the kind of storylines of the season would be. I do still think we have that long like season arc of like Mo and Blue and like those two, you know, doing stuff together. I do think after Jimbo gets eliminated, we kind of get like the revenge of Lemon. I do think we kind of get like a, you know, this is kind of like Lemon's like peak moment situation here. Um, like where she's like, I'm gonna, you know, get to the end for Jimbo. And I think that's kind of her thing that she does. I do think we still get the same like Jujubee-esque storyline, but I think especially in this scenario, which is different, is in this scenario, Bag of Chips and Cheryl Hole are the first two to go, two of the 3 UK queens. So I think, along with kind of the vengeance of Lemon, I think we kind of get the vengeance of Blue Hydrangea, where she, you know, is, you know, sees her 2 UK Huns get eliminated the first 2 episodes, and she, you know, kind of is like, you know, there's no chance in hell I'm going home. I'm going to make it to the end of that competition. And I think we kind of see that happen as well here. And that's kind of the main difference I see, is we kind of get a bit of a different storyline for Blue, which is, you know, originally it was kind of like a, you know, I need to show that I'm more than what I was on season 1 of Drag Race UK. But on this is more of like, I need to show more than what I was, or more than what I was seeing on that season, and also, you know, do it for Baga and Cheryl. So let's now move on to the finale. So the finale is a lip sync SmackDown situation, lip sync for the crown, whatever. So the way that I kind of have been doing this in these videos is I have a winner, like who I think would end up winning the season, and the runner-ups. Um, And it's not like this is like going by specific like bracket, because we really don't know what the bracket would be, but this is just kind of like overall who do I think would win the most times out of all the situations that are like conceivable. And I think that would be blue hydrangea. So let us go over some of these like situations that might happen. So originally what happened is that the wheel landed on Mo and she chose Baga. Now Baga's not here, so we really don't know who she would choose necessarily. I don't think she chooses Lemon at all. I think that's the one person you can erase, because she would have lip sync, yeah, sure, against Lemon the previous episode and lost. So I don't think she does it again. Now, does she choose Jujubee, even though that's her US sister? I'm not sure. She might. I do think there's a good, because Jujubee's the only person this season who's not won a lip sync. Well, not the only person this season, but the only person at the final four that hasn't. So I don't know if she chooses Jujubee. She is a good chance of choosing Blue, but also Blue's 1-1, so I don't know if she chooses Jujubee or Blue, but, you know, let's go through both of those scenarios. If she chooses Blue and they lip sync to Domino or the Reflex, I think Blue probably wins either of those. I think Blue really did pretty solid on lip syncs this season, and I think definitely, I mean, Mo really didn't give it all in her lip sync to Domino. There's people out there who think Baga should have won that lip sync, and honestly, even though I don't think she should have won, I think it was incredibly close, all things considered. So I think Blue very easily could have won that lip sync, and she originally did win the actual lip sync to Reflex. It was against Jujubee originally. But regardless, I still think she could win it against Mo, so I would hedge my bets and say, if those two are competing, Blue wins the lip sync. Lemon versus Jujubee against either of the other ones, I think Lemon probably wins, which gives us a top two of Blue and Lemon. And the better track record of those two is Blue. So even though Lemon might do better in that final lip sync to Supernova, I think most likely the win should probably still be given to Blue. Now, if we're doing the other scenario, where Mo chooses Jujubee, I do think Mo beats Jujubee in either song that they do. Now, for Blue versus Lemon to the other songs, I think Blue probably wins against wins in the lip syncing to the Reflex, most likely, but I do think she would probably lose against Lemon to Domino. So if Blue, so this is very hard to explain. So if you're keeping up with all this, good for you. So if they get the Reflex, I think Blue wins that lip sync and Blue wins the season again against Mo. I think if they get Domino, I think Lemon goes up against Mo in the top two, and I think Mo should probably win the season in that scenario. So out of the I guess, how many scenarios do I think are conceivable? Like, I think there's three, I think, that are pretty conceivable. I think 2 out of those 3 Blue wins. So I do think Blue Hydrangea should win this season. Here are the track records for the season. Since both people who are in the top for the challenge are winners of the challenge, they each get 5 points for that. The person who won the lip sync, I marked in the purple color, as they were marked, on the actual like slides. So that purple color is, talking about who won those lip syncs. And yeah, all the other points for each of the placements are exactly the same as they would be originally. And as we can see here, Blue does have the best track record out of the finalists, though it is not by much, because, Mo is literally a single point behind, and then Lemon's only 2, so it's really close there in that final, well, 3 out of the final 4, sorry, Juju. But yeah, this season the queens of the season are so amazing, and I do think the season could have been an all-time great if it weren't for some decisions that were made, but overall I still think it's a really entertaining season of RuPaul's Drag Race. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Like and comment if you wish. Please subscribe, that would be very nice. I would love to, eventually get to like 1,000 subscribers. That'd be really fun. And also leave a comment down below of what season you would like to see next. I have not seen every single season of Drag Race, so like I think I saw someone suggest Thailand season 2 prior to this video. I have not seen Thailand season 2. That is going to be one that's going to be coming much later, that I'm actually going to have to take the time to sit down and watch. But yeah, Thank you all so much for watching. I'll hopefully see you all in the next one of these videos. Yeah, thank you all so much. Take care. Bye-bye.